12 amazing chefs all working together on one night for one amazing purpose, saving babies together. Meet the chairman of the event and Horry County's auditor coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Myrtle Beach Herald. We're focused on the Star Chef's Auction, the signature Chef's Auction for the March of Dimes, and we're visiting with its chairman, the Honorable Lois Eargle, Horry County's auditor. Good morning, Lois.
Oh, good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Wonderful to be with you today.
It's amazing to see that beautiful blue outfit. That is that's very handsome.
Well, see, whenever you're around class, you got to look classy.
You and I decided to go blue today, blue and black here, and blue and white there. That's very smart. Thank you so much for committing so much time. I know this Star Chefs or Signature Chefs event is taking a heck of a lot more time than you ever imagined. But
it has. It has, but you know, it's worth it. I'm committed to improving the health of babies. I don't know whether you realize or not, but I had 3 children in 1 year. Did you know that?
Oh, come on.
I did.
That's not true.
And
Three in 1 year, Lois?
I have a son in December 55 and twins in 56. And by the way, they were premature. And when I brought them home from the hospital, one weighed 4 pounds and 3 ounces, and one weighed 4 pounds and 7 ounces. And they had to be fed with a special feeder. You had to, it would only hold an ounce and a half of milk at the time, and you had to pump the milk into the mouth because the doctor said that they were so small. He was afraid that it would affect their heart. You know, if they didn't pump the milk. It was called a breast feeder. It had a bulb on the end of it where you pump the milk into the mouth, and I had 2 that I had to feed like that.
Is that right?
Yes, and it was, and they were healthy otherwise, just low weight because they were a month premature. In fact, at that time, they did not know that I was going to have twins until they were born.
Oh, come on.
They did not.
Did they have ways to monitor it for any parent or
They
not?
did not at that time. Now, today they do. But whenever I had my twins will be 48 years old in December. So at that time, they did not have ways to monitor it other than listening to the heart. And it was, and I can imagine the care, Greg, that it would take for a baby that weighed 1 pound and 12 ounces or 2 pounds or less than 3 pounds, because at 4 pounds and 7 ounces and 4 pounds and 3 ounces, we used handkerchiefs for diapers.
Wow.
Sure. And doll clothes for them to wear.
You know, yesterday Joe Fisher was with us. I don't know if you caught that interview, and she was talking about the 2 babies from Marion County, the ambassador babies from Marion County, born 1 pound 8 ounces, and the ambassador babies from Marlborough County, born 2 pounds 13 ounces, half the size of your twins or your son.
Yeah.
When you think about that, of course, just recently I was with a couple at a dinner party. Karen Markley, who's an OBGYN locally, who had twin girls who are now 5. Hearing them talk about twins in general, that must have been amazing, raising twin girls.
It was. What one didn't think of, the other did.
Oh, yeah, so they always caught you. That's right. We'll catch Mama in something. Yeah, and of course, our daughter was born full term, but with a cleft palate, and so we had to actually get a tube in her stomach to feed her milk, to feed her breast milk or other milk, and fed her with a tube in her stomach, which is a fun scar. Yes, I do. Not even in the mouth there, just because so much came through her nose. It was a tough time. Yeah. It was a tough time. So
she's a beautiful little girl.
She is. That's very kind. Thank you, Lois.
Like
now, I give her mother credit for that. I wish I could take credit for that. That's her mother, and of course, she's my parents' first grandchild. What was it like when you had your first? You've got how many grandchildren? It's a big number. 13. I was about to say I thought it was 11, but it's 13.
The first grandchild that I will never forget the feeling. It's an awesome feeling. It's a very humbling feeling. In fact, to the amount that you are in tears, because you look at that baby, and you think, well, you know, that baby is really a part of me.
Yeah. And
I didn't have to go through the 9 months and the pain. All I can do is just enjoy it. And then that's what I had the privilege of being in the delivery room with 2 of my grandchildren.
Is that right? Yes, 2 of the 13?
Yes, the doctor allowed me to do that, and to see, and whenever the baby is born, then that really is a humbling experience, you know.
Well, now, Lois, think of that number. You just said 13. You have 3 children at 13?
14. I got 4 children.
You have 4 children. Okay, excuse me.
Now, our son adopted 5 children.
Oh, wow.
I will tell you that. He has, they were foster parents, and he adopted 3 siblings.
Right.
And then he has adopted 2 they're babies from Romania.
Is that right?
Yes,
Great.
so that's the reason why I have so many.
Saving babies together, then, that mission of the March of Dimes really resonates in the Eargle household.
It really does. When you have a child or a grandchild, and that child is healthy, it's a blessing and it's a miracle.
Mm-hmm.
But then but there's 1 out of 8 babies who are born with a defect of some type.
Right.
And that's one reason why I just am so proud to have the opportunity to do something and to work with the March of Dimes, because it's a wonderful cause, saving babies. Whenever I was the Assistant Secretary of State to Jim Miles, he started the Scrooge list and the Angel list.
Right.
And the March of Dimes has always been on the Angels list because I think it's 92 cents out of every dollar goes back into the programs and the saving babies and the research that is done and the services that the March of Dimes offers to people right here in South Carolina and Horry County, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You heard Joe Fisher talk about it yesterday. $4 million raised in South Carolina alone last year, and $850,000 of it being sent back here to South Carolina, reinvested throughout the areas, particularly in the PD and in this part of the state.
Yes.
This part of the state.
And also, to remind those who maybe don't remember, is that March of Dimes really conquered, so to speak, or found a cure for polio. Remember that?
Exactly. Absolutely.
And so I feel sure that they're focused. That's what their goals are, and I'm sure that if it were not for the March of Dimes, I'm sure that the rate would be higher than it is.
Oh, my God.
A lot of the money is, well, I say a lot of it, a portion of it, a percentage of it, is for education, which would, we need
neonatal education and all
to realize that you got to take care of yourself. You got to eat the right foods and take care of yourself.
Very definitely. Golly, Lois, there's so many things going on. Of course, if a viewer had to run to work right now or had to get out, the phone number's real simple. The Conway office there, the 488, is it 3463?
That's right.
Okay.
488-3463.
Okay, and of course the PD division. Now you'll have folks coming in next Tuesday night for the Star Signature Chefs event from all over the area.
This is from all over the area, and Greg, but thank you so much for being our premier sponsor.
Oh yeah, we're very excited.
It was just, I cannot tell you the shot in the arm, so to speak, that your commitment and your generosity did to our chef's auction. We have 12 chefs from the Grand Strand, and these 12 chefs are going to prepare their specialty, delicious food. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have the opportunity to walk around and taste 12 different types of food for one price?
It is.
We are going to have the Medieval Times has committed to come in, and they're decorating the Radisson Convention Center.
Right.
And when you walk in, it'll look like a castle. And they're going to have the kings and the queens and whatever they're there walking around in costumes. Yeah. And it's going to be it will be a night, a KNIGHT to remember.
Truly. Night to remember. That's right. I've seen some of those great print ads running in area newspapers, and to see how well those have turned out, really driving home that point that Medieval Times are part of this and making it special. They've really been stepping out. Actually, Deb Bramlett and Colleen will be with us next Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
Right on the eve of the event to highlight the signature chefs.
Right
I know, exactly. And so, of course, you're with us today on Wednesday, and they'll be with us next Monday and Tuesday, trying to drive folks in even at the last minute. Tickets can be sold up to the last minute.
You can, and if you come by, and if you want that day, if you want to come in buy a ticket, I'm sure that one would be available for you.
Oh yeah, I understood from Colleen they've opened a third ballroom, Lois.
They have, because of the crowd.
You've been selling so many.
And also we have a live auction. We have a auctioneer who's going to be there to auction off. We have numerous trips like Aruba, Barbados. We have trips around. I think one's in New Jersey, Augusta, Georgia,
Right, some incredible
Charlotte,
hotels, yeah, that are part of that. The Carlson
Yeah,
Group, the
that's right.
Radisson Plaza Hotel, Myrtle Beach Convention Center is part of the Carlson Group, one of the largest hotel organizations in the world. Obviously, they own Carlson Wagon Lit, the largest travel company in the world. They're an amazing operation. And of course, you had a co-chair who's recently departed the area to head back to, I believe, is that right, Mike Roddy?
Yes.
Who was helping you out, who's since
He
departed,
was.
but helped lock up some incredible
he really did.
auction items.
We just really hated to lose him,
Yeah.
and he had some health problems, and so I think that was part of his decision to move back.
Right,
He had
right.
to have a surgery on
Knee
his
surgery,
knees.
yeah, major surgery. And of course, he still had children in high school back in Minnesota,
Yeah.
needing to get back, I'm
Yes,
sure, closer
I think
to them.
6 or 7 children himself. Hooters Air has given 6 round-trip tickets.
To anywhere they fly.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
That's right, 6. They have been. They have also been. Always have been. Cooperating with us, and they really add to the community just as you do. And Greg, if it were not for people like you and those who
So
have,
many.
it would things just would not happen like it does. And in Horry County, it seems to me like we are just the most giving, gracious,
You're right.
caring county.
It
and
is.
that's one reason why I love Horry County.
Yeah.
And there's so many wonderful people that are willing to help. But you got to have a leader. You got to
And
have
you're
a
the leader on this event, Lois. Absolutely. You've committed so much, and when you recognize that time, why do you think Horry is that way? And I'd love to hear you say Horry.
Horry, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could be the diversity. Sometimes diversity brings interests that you would not have otherwise. Like in Horry County, we have on the east of the side of the waterway, we lead the state in tourism, no doubt about
Absolutely.
it. The west side, we lead the state in agriculture, no doubt about it.
Is that right?
Yeah, we do.
For sure?
I represented, when I was in this legislature, I represented the largest agriculture area in the state of South Carolina.
Is
in
that right?
Conway, in the Conway area. And so the interests that you have in east of the waterway is different from the west. But then whenever they come together, then they want to know more about. It's just work. It comes to our advantage rather than our disadvantage.
Right,
Some
right.
people think, well, if you don't think like I do, then it's a disadvantage. But I found that in Horry County, and I have worked here for a lot of many
You've been
years.
here since '61, I think
Yes,
I saw.
I have.
Yeah.
And I have worked since I've been here. I've been involved in charity work or some Chamber of Commerce's in Pennsylvania, and found that the people here really work good together. And there's very good, caring people.
Well, when we kicked off the show, golly, more than 2 years ago, we were doing a lot of traveling in the PD in southeastern North Carolina, where most of my viewers are. Less
Yeah.
than a third of our viewers are here in Horry. So we were doing a lot of traveling up there. I've come to recognize, because Horry is so diverse, we can really stay here, and there are amazing stories like your own, like Steve Robertson, who'll be with us tomorrow and Friday, like Joe Fisher yesterday, and Patty Hilton on Monday. Folks like yourselves that are really indicative of the rest of the state or the rest of the Southeast.
Truly
So that
Carolina
our
people.
viewers in the PD and southeastern North Carolina, of course, we still travel up in those areas, but we haven't as much recently. We have not traveled in those areas as much recently because I've come to recognize, as you say, Horry is so diverse, and it represents such a hodgepodge of folks, particularly so many coming in from other areas of the country. The real melting pot, Horry, and of course, this is the largest county in the state.
East of the Mississippi.
Oh, really?
The largest county east of the Mississippi.
You know,
Land-wise.
Yeah, land-wise. Someone, I'd always heard that and said that, and I think Ed Young corrected me in an interview and said that wasn't, he said he thought that was some other county, but...
It's not. The
yeah.
records show that.
That's fascinating. Well, you, of course, as auditor, recognize the travels throughout the county, and having been a former elected official, as an elected legislator from the county, traveling a lot throughout the county. Share with the viewers real quick what it was like being elected. And, of course, our big focus is the Signature Star Chef's
no
auction.
doubt about it.
We sure want to focus on that. We've got about 10 minutes, Lois. Share with them being elected for the first time. I think you beat out an 8-year incumbent.
I did.
One of the first female legislators in the area, if not the first.
May I tell you something I won't ever forget when I announced to run for the House of Representatives? someone said, and pardon my expression, but ain't no farmer gonna vote for no woman.
Wow.
But they did. They
Why?
did.
Yeah, why, Lois? Do you
Well,
really
I did
represent
a little
them?
bit of a different kind of campaigning. Up until that time, you could go into a community stand on the back of a flatbed truck,
Right.
make one speech and see the right person in that community, and you were set for the election.
Mm-hmm.
What I did, I walked door to door.
Mm.
I mean, I did, and I would go out in the afternoons when those farmers would get off of work,
Right.
and I would get in my car, I would blow the horn and stop them on the tractor. And they'd get out, and I'd get out and run, and I said, I'm Lois Eargle, and I'm running for House of Representatives. And I won, and during my service, I mean, I really rallied around the farmers. We did a lot. I even carried them to Washington. We carried them up to the research center that they were doing over in North Carolina.
Right.
I carried them to Danville, Virginia, where they had they invented a material, a cotton that was wrinkle-free.
Mm-hmm.
And when they sat us in that room, and the CEO said, "Do you know what the secret ingredient is?" And I said, "I don't know, but I hope it's tobacco juice." And I thought I enjoyed it. It was a wonderful experience, and the farmers just really appreciated my interest. I'd go out in the field, sucker tobacco, top tobacco. Even when I was in the legislature,
Right.
we planted tobacco plants behind the legislature in Columbia.
No.
And all through the process of the tobacco, I would take it into the house, stand at the podium, and tell them the stage that the tobacco was in at that time, because tobacco was such an important part of our area at that time. It's sort of, today it's a little different, and it's sort of sad that tobacco is not the king of the crop, so to speak, as it was whenever I was elected.
Right, it's still very strong. We were with Jim Battle over in Marion. Golly, it must have been 3 or 4 months ago at a camp out there. I can't remember the name of the camp, but with some amazing folks. And hearing him talk about just hearing him talk about his own business, but tobacco farming, and of course the quota, and so many other aspects of farming is absolutely incredible. Yeah. A true impact, and of course being with guys like Ed Young or others who really understand the farming industry, and hearing them talk about it's very special.
I love being auditor of Horry County. We're the only county in the state of South Carolina that has 4 satellite offices.
4? 4.
But then now there's 2 counties in the state that has 1.
Right.
We're the only county that has 4. We have 1 in Conway, 1 in Myrtle Beach, 1 in Little River. Now we have 1 over in Surfside. Our focus is, my office's focus is personal property taxes. Of course, now I send out the tax notices on real property, but my focus in my office is personal property, which is cars, trucks, campers, airplanes, furniture and fixtures.
That's right. We just heard an airplane flying over.
Yeah.
We're here right next to the former Air Force Base,
Yeah.
and of course it just had such a dramatic impact on the area.
It has.
But now, of course, you also have been doing some things recently, really focusing on out-of-state tags, Lois.
Tags. That's my pet peeve. If you want to know something that upsets me, is these people who are riding around with out-of-state tags, enjoying our amenities in this wonderful county. Some of them are getting our tax breaks, and then will go register their car in another state. And we we've cracked down on that, and we have a host of volunteer citizens who are out there getting those tags. They get the tag and the number, and they get the number and the state, and so we have ways that we check them out.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Volunteer citizens.
Yeah.
If a viewer wanted to be part of that, could they give your office a call?
Certainly they can. They can call. It's the Surfside office is where I house. This has become such an important part of our office and such an important part of bringing in additional income that we've had to set up a division of our office just out-of-state tags.
Well, now, this is something that all the auditors' offices in the state, I mean, that they'd want to do. If they're not doing right now, that they would...
I'm the only auditor in the state that's doing this. We got a call yesterday from Beaufort County asking us, please tell us how you're doing what you're doing. And even Beaufort County, as large as Beaufort County is, and they sitting right there on Georgia line, they're not focusing on this.
Why not, Lois?
I don't know. They're losing money, and I'm telling you now, if you abide by the law,
right,
and you register your car, then your friends and neighbors and they need to do the same thing,
Sure.
and so your taxes won't go up. we were able to, last year alone, to recoup or to get the out-of-state tax people to come in over $1 million.
You're kidding.
That's right. And see, 1 mil of tax in Horry County is what, like about 1,400,000.
Right, right. So almost $1 million.
Yes. So it makes a difference. And if they hadn't, if we had not focused on that and had citizens out there that want to call in, then your taxes would have went up $1 million.
We got about 5 minutes, Lois. What's the best number for a viewer if they want to volunteer, or if they're in the PD in southeastern North Carolina, want to learn more about it? What's the best number for a viewer to call?
915-5052.
843-915-5052. Okay.
Janet Brown is the supervisor over there in office. She is doing a wonderful job. And by the way, she devised a program. And what we do now, whenever we put notices on the cars, we have it in Spanish too.
Oh, good.
Both of them, so that they can't say that, they can't use the excuse that I cannot read.
That's a very good point.
The information, you know.
Absolutely.
So, and if it's in areas where we suspect that there are people there that that speak Spanish, then we put.
Probably easily put it in Portuguese as well. I mean, there's a number of, you may want to put it in multiple. I mean, that's a great idea in Spanish, but there are a heck of a lot of Brazilians in the, I mean, you know, it's important for folks to know. They may not intentionally want to keep Florida tags or other tags, but I'm sure they do it just out of habit. They may not know better. So that's great to bring it to their attention.
Yeah, I can tell you, we don't have the time. You invite me to come back again. And I can tell you story after story about the people who just tried to avoid paying their taxes.
Oh, yeah.
Spent time in jail.
Oh, yeah.
We have. We're confiscating the vehicles.
Wow. And
the law allows us to do that. And we're not doing anything to violate the law. What we're doing is what the law allows us to do.
Right.
And whenever you ride around in Horry County without a state tags, you're stealing money from the county.
That's a powerful point, Lois. Well, I'm glad our focus is saving babies together.
That's right.
We'll have to get you back another time to talk about that, or Janet Brown, for that matter, or some of your other amazing staff members. You've got a huge crew there in Conway. Of course, you've got office in Surfside, North Myrtle, and Loris?
No, Myrtle Beach and Conway.
And Conway, okay.
There probably one over in that area pretty short.
Yeah, I'm sure folks like traveling into Conway. It's such a great location there. Lois, break down the evening from 6:30 to 10 this Tuesday, upcoming Tuesday, 6 days away. We're now on the eve.
Well, when you walk in, you'll have a greet. Somebody that will be there to greet you. You sign up and come on in, and then we have a host of silent auctions.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful diversion of silent. You can get some good bargains.
Yeah, yeah.
And now the announcement says from 6:30 to 9, but if you come at 6 o'clock, we'll be fine. You get a little longer to look at some of the silent auctions.
Right.
And then we will have the dinner and auction and some entertainment and a lot of fun and a lot of things that's going to happen. And it's going to be, let me tell you what I'm doing. I am going myself.
Yeah.
I am auctioning off a dinner for 12 that I'm going to prepare myself.
Come on.
I am going to prepare myself. I'll either do it at the person's home or at my home. And it's going to be turkey and dressing and all the trimmings. And I would love for them to have it, before Christmas.
Right, sure. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And we're going to have some fun time. It's going to be a lot of entertainment.
Wow, Lois, that's a great commitment on your part.
That's how much I believe in the March of
And Kim Lloyd, who was with us a couple of weeks ago promoting some events with the American Cancer Society, obviously she's overseeing all the chefs, orchestrating those 12. Paulie's Plantation isn't doing one of the stations there, but Paulie's Plantation has opened the door for her to do an amazing feast at someone's home.
Yes.
And she's incredible.
Yes.
Kim Lloyd is amazing.
Come to the auction and you will never have to cook a holiday meal during the holidays.
I know, listen to that. Golly, when you break down the auction aspect, live and silent auction, but another big component is Parker Wilson and his family, the Ambassador family being there.
He will be that. He's a precious little, I started to say, he's a babe, still a baby. He is so precious, and his parents are just so proud of him, and the March of Dimes is really proud of him because he came up and just showed us that he's special.
Absolutely. Lois, I've heard so many times, if you want to get something done, ask Lois Eargle to do it.
Yeah.
And obviously so many volunteers threw your name into the ring when they were talking about looking for a chairperson for this year's Star Chefs event. What's the inspiration for you to wrap up, to keep you?
Well, first of all, it was the volunteers, those who are willing to, we meet every week, Greg, every week, and these people, they sacrifice their time to come to a meeting to plan for this auction. And the inspiration for me is whenever I know that I'm working for something that's good. I'm working for an organization, the March of Dimes, that 92 cents out of the dollar goes for the purpose, for the research and the services. So many of the so-called charities, you might have 10% that just goes for services or for research, and then 9% goes for salaries and administration. The March of Dimes is in there for the right reasons.
They really are.
488-3463.
Thank you, Lois. Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
It's been my pleasure.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with the Honorable Lois Eargle coming up next. Think about the year 1976, out there campaigning. You heard her talk about it. She's campaigning in the same way today for babies. She was campaigning months ago when she accepted the chairmanship of the Star Chefs event. Think about it, 1976, out driving around through the county, the largest agricultural district in the state, honking horns at these farmers, beating an 8-year incumbent and 3 other guys, recognized throughout the area for her commitment to fight for the county. She's fighting for babies in the same way, a constant commitment. You heard her drive that number home, 843-488-3463, 843-488-3463. You can show up next Tuesday night. You heard her say, come a little early, 6 o'clock. Take a look at some of the amazing auction items, but get out there, work hard to fight to save babies together.